Okay, dokie, guys, welcome to another vintage video. Today we're going to be playing some big Dread Return Dredge, some of the more combo variant. So we've got things like Thassa's Oracle here, Grislebrand, Dread Return, Bridge from Below, Pox Walkers. A lot of cards we don't usually see. Um, we're still doing the whole Dredge thing. We've still got Icarids to and Hollow Ones and stuff to try and pump our opponent dead with combat damage. But we've also got this combo kill of Dread Return of Grislebrand, draw/dredge your entire deck, and then Dread Return targeting Thassa's Oracle to win the game. This can beat things like Oath of Druids and get through the difficult board states with like a Ceres Emissary or an Atraxa that we can't get around. And it can also beat up on things like a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, and that sort of card as well. 4 therapies, which makes it very fun. 4 griefs that can inform therapies. 1 chalice, 1 misstep is all the permission we're playing. Post board, we have got a Mindbreak Trap. We've also got some removal, including Spinning Darkness, so we get to make extra clicks on every activation of Bazaar. Ley lines, Force of Vigors, Waste and Strips. So big combo Dredge, and we're going to take it through a league. It's usually quite a lot of fun, so let's go check it out. Okie dokie, it's round 1. We're up against CRK, who's the current trophy leader. We've got a double Bazaar of Baghdad hand, so we're going to keep it. I think we've been on a lot of like Flesh Raker shops type stuff recently. They're currently deciding what they're doing. Okay. But yeah, Flesh Raker shops, which is usually quite quick, so that can be a problem for us. But obviously, our big Grislebrand combo can get around One Ring Protection and stuff like that. Of note in this list, there are no Creeping Chills, so we can't really extend the game through gaining life, sort of thing. I'm just going to discard the obvious cards here: the Stinkweed Imp, the Bridge, and the Icarid. And I'm rolled up for another Bazaar next turn either way. We've got Noxious Revival to rescue something if they've got a bit of main deck hate. But yeah, as I was saying, Workshop, Flesh Raker shops most recently. I don't know if they're working on something else. I mean, Vexing Bauble's a bit of a kick in the dick for us, but that's fine. We'll still be able to pump out tokens. City of Traitors, Grim Monolith, okay. Oh gosh, we haven't stopped, sorry. I've got more to talk about. Manifold Key, untapping Grim Monolith. Into Khan the Great Creator. That's gross. That's really gross. I mean, Khan can't get Tormod's Crypt, which is a blessing, because of the Vexing Bauble. If Khan goes down to get something, it's going to die to my Icarid, so it kind of has to go up. At which point, yeah, I'm going to dump cards into my graveyard and get Soul Guided next turn really hard. Or Grafdigger's Cage, I guess, is going to be their sideboard card of choice. But if we get far enough and big enough and wide enough, that might not matter. So they're going to reveal a card. Khan is going to die. They get a Disruptor Flute, which is going to go after my Bazaar of Baghdad activations, but I'm going to get a further 2 Bazaar activations right now. So hopefully this Stinkweed Imp does us some good things. Imp into Shell, and that's hit a Narcomoeba on the way through. We'll get rid of our therapy. Any order's fine. This is the downside of registering Spinning Darkness in your sideboard. Is it asks you for an additional click every time. Let's eat. Well, Grislebrand can't come into play, right? Against the Vexing Bauble. Yeah, so I'm going to eat Grislebrand. Now we'll draw a card and dread a Stinkweed Imp. Hit another Narcomoeba. And then we play another Bazaar, and we're just going to go so wide here. We just need to hit as many bridges as possible. Got a Golgari Grave Troll. got a Golgari Thug. Hit 0 more bridges. So that's cool. In we go with these 3. Any order. But now we go and bash Khan in the face. So Khan's dead. And now we therapy you, sacrificing a Narcomoeba. Therapy gets countered, but hey ho, look at my triggers. And then with Poxwalkers that dies. The Poxwalkers that dies can see. Oh, hang on, but I can make more, right? Because I've got a Dread Return here. The Dread Return won't resolve, but I can Dread Return targeting Grave Troll off of, I guess, Narc, and then the 2 Poxwalkers. But the Poxwalkers will see me do that, so they'll come straight back. And I'll get more tokens. The Poxwalkers will come in, and then we'll just punt off all of our therapies as well. So therapy you off of a Poxwalker. And yeah, we're exceptionally dead to Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, don't get me wrong. But therapy you, sack a Poxwalker. But look at my board state, you know? And then therapy you, sack a Poxwalker. And that's gaming, that is. So yeah, we can get Vault Keyed. Yeah, they can play a Disruptor for loot. Yeah, we can get Tabernacled. But I've got 20 power in play. And our opponent's at 20. So it seems like we've put the question forwards, you know? Right, you'll go. Oh, I've got a Noxious Revivals. I've got to click through. Yeah, I think that's the best we could have done in the face of a Vexing Bauble. They've got to come off the Bauble now, which means I can eat their mana and give them a Vexing Bauble. What do you think of that? What if I Noxious Revival their Vexing Bauble? And then what? And then they... I think I actually really like that. No, keep it. Because then to get through their card, it's going to cost them another 2 mana. I know they've got Key, but... I liked the Vexing Bauble CRK, and I think you should keep it. Yeah, now you play Vexing Bauble, and then you untap your Monolith, and we've eaten 3 of your mana to get a card this turn. Oh god. That doesn't matter. Mana is not a thing they care about. They cycle through. They've got 4 mana left. Untap the Monolith, they've got 6 mana left. What costs 6 mana? From this position. Disruptor Flute. Which is just going to lock out my Bazaars. But that's not something I care about, I don't think. And then if they nuke our yard, oh, they've got a 1 ring. Okay, so that is something I care about. So I think it's still good form to pick up the Icarids because it's just gonna pump out a few more bridge tokens. We'll dredge a Grave Troll. And we hit nothing else. So we didn't hit another Dread Return. We didn't hit any other cards we can cast. This doesn't actually do anything, this attack. So let's not attack with the Death Touchers. Them being untapped might actually have text. Our Icarids die, our tokens come in. Opponent falls to 19. We did find a Thassa's Oracle. We ate a Grislebrand earlier on, which was tasty, but yeah, it probably won't take much for us to get Vault Keyed from this position. They're untapping the rings. They've drawn 3 additional cards this turn. They've got 5 mana at the moment at that academy. Them sandbagging the academy was really good because I tried to stymie their mana with my Noxious Revival, and that apparently was not at all what the game was about at that point. So it does make me pleased I didn't give them Karn back though. I thought Karn's a 4 mana spell that's going to eat so much of their mana, but right, 7 mana floated. And it's a Fleshraker. Like, killing us has to be the play here, right? Like, it can't be... I don't think it can be any sort of... I make 7 tokens. I think it's got to be killing me. I've got 3 left over, but, well, I can't be bothered to count their mana. They've got a Fleshraker in play, so they get all the mana back whenever they want it, basically. Let's just put our graveyard away whilst our opponent goes off. There's 1 top. So 2 tops is lethal. Our opponent's having a check now. So every top gives them a token. Each time they play a top, we take 1, and they can flip the top to get the other top and spend the mana they make from the token. So there's 1 top activation. Tap the monolith. Sacrifice a token, eat my 2 bridges. That could also come up as relevant, I guess, but I've got so many things. And then they play a Fleshraker. Not a Fleshraker, a 1 ring. Okay. And then they'll get to play a top again and look with the top. And they'll be 1 card deeper. They've got the protection again. Oh, that's a patchwork. Like, if we can flip Grislebrand Dread Return this turn, if we get a turn, obviously, then that's, like, super sick, because we'll just win. But, and provided we've got 7 life points by the time we get there. And they look with top. They don't have any mana now, though. Okay. I'll eat a grief, I'm not too precious. Draw step, we'll dredge a Stinkweed Imp. We hit a Narcomoeba. And that is it. That probably spells doom for us, I would assume. Yeah. 17 cards left in our deck. 2 Dread Returns and 1 Grislebrand were in there. But I think this is going to probably do us in this turn, because they get to see so many new cards. They've got infinite mana. They don't even need to loop tops, possibly. It just needs to be play enough creatures. It also says 9 mana, and we've not even played with our Manifold Key yet. Another Fleshraker, so the damage is just insane at this point with 7 cards in hand. Another Fleshraker. Yeah. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? We're dead. It's a shame. Maybe I punted with my Noxious Revival. Maybe there was going to be a better position for it. But yeah. Let's go to the next game. Get some Force of Vigors and some Mindbreak traps. I don't think I want to bring in the Sickening Shoals. I think that's a bit over the top. I'm not sure what I do want though. Hogak looks like it's nonsense. Hogak is incredibly green though. Mental Misstep will counter Sensei's top, and that might actually be enough. I think one Thug's fine, but we do want access to a good Dredge Ender in this deck. So Dread Return can go. We can drop a Therapy. Chalice on the play is probably quite good against them. Mindbreak Trap looks like it should be playable. I don't actually want this Hogak in my deck. I did say it's green, but I think I'm over that. And then maybe just a bridge. Keeping 2 Dread Returns and 2 Grislebrand. So that might be wrong. It might be trim a Grislebrand, keep a Hogak. Can I, if I got time to do that? Is that okay? Okay. Yeah, cool. So, and then one Dread Return's like locked onto the Grislebrand, another Dread Return's locked onto the Thoracle, but it just means we've trimmed that package down for interactive pieces, obviously. So let's go and give this a go. Maybe what did I do last time with my Dread Return? I used Dread Return to pump out 20 power, didn't I? So maybe that was like punty, and I could have just done the therapy thing, just punted away all my therapies. But I don't know. It felt like all the power was good at the time. It's just they changed 1 rings. So we find a Bazaar on 5. We'll put back Powder, and we'll put back maybe just a Vigor. No, put back Noxious. No, there's no point. Although I can kill all their stuff later, can't I? So yeah, let's keep like this. And then see where our Bazaar activation gets us. Gets me another thing. So I'm going to discard Dredger, Hogak, Powder. They don't have a Leyline in the Void, which is pretty big. And then we'll pass to them. We've got Force of Vigor into potentially trying to get back online to another Force of Vigor later, but I don't think that's true. I think it's just going to be Vigor, Pitch, Vigor. And then yeah, the Vexing Bauble did them a lot of work last game. So here's a Ruby and a Workshop. And this is just a turn 1 ring. Turn 1 Lodestone Golem. Okay. So again, taxed out of the game, but I've got a Stinkweed Imp and a Stinkweed Imp. That's incredibly small. Let's discard cards we can't cast. And then Dredge a Grave Troll. Hit nothing. Feel nothing. You'll go. So yeah, 2 games dominated by the prison elements, really, I think. Grim Monolith. We might be able to trade off this Lodestone Golem and get them a bit later, but good grief. But yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, does it? Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay. I need some good dredging this turn. I can't cast my spells, which makes my Icarids really bad. Fleshraker makes my Bridge from Below embarrassing. They got a 1 ring. We can't cast spells. Yeah, cool. They're going to draw a card. But I think we're dead. They take a look with top, because if they find a top, the game ends. And they've also got the Monolith to keep playing. They flip with top, that's not good for us. They play a Sapphire, okay. They play a Voltaic Key. How did they get all these cards in their hand? I thought they were hell-bent on the thing. Oh well. They untap the One Ring. Oh, I've never been more dead in all my life, actually. Take a peek with top. I've got one Icarid to work through this on at the moment. That's a Nettle Cyst. And they've got a token in place, so they can always just kill my Bridge from Belows if I find them again. Yeah, I think this is beyond over. Icarid can eat a Shambling Shell. Treasure Grave Troll. 2 Narcomoebas. And I can't even cast my therapies, I don't have the mana for it. So we just have to pass again. And then they even gave me the bridge token, that's how much they care about what we're doing over here. Five cards in hand now. They play a defense grid. They've just got to play cards, haven't they? They don't have to do anything. They just have to tap their lands and put their spells on the stack. And I'll still die. So that's fun. I've played this deck a few times now. And with exactly 0 of the Bazaar deck, so I felt like it's good for us. It just always feels unwinnable. But I'm not too sure why. Because it's just dual shops with less protection. So it might just be that I'm doing things wrong. But I don't know. This game was quite dominated by just them having 2 prison pieces on turn 1, right? Or a prison piece on turn 1 each game. Just a Lodestone Golem and a Vexing Ball, meaning I couldn't play spells. I could have not Dread returned game 1. And I could have sandbagged that for when I had access to my graveyard. But this game I've not really had decisions to make. We were just kind of locked out, and that's a lethal Grafdigger's Cage, which is always quite fun. So yeah, we'll see you for round 2. Okay, round 2. We're up against my potatoes, and I'm on the play. I've got a Bazaar. I've got some Griefs. I'm gonna keep it. Are they a Lurus gamer usually? Well, not now, at least. So we play Bazaar. And I think we activate first here because we want to find out if we've got access to Bridge from Below. We don't. So I want Stinkweed Imp. And I want Golgari Thug. I'm going to get rid of my Powder. And I'm going to Grief them pitching Grief. And that just gets through. That's cool. Okay. What's this? This is all quite weak, I think. So I can take Khan. And then I can take Lotus. And then they're on turn 1 gut end of game plan. Grief you again. Take Lotus. And like they might top deck a Blood Moon and that will slow me down. But I've got 2 dredges in now. So mono red prison. I've played against this deck a fair bit recently, and it's not good for us because of their blood moons and their blood moons and their Magus of the Moons. So we do need to be quite aggressive, I think, in bringing all of this Chalice on the draw can go. One of the Grislebrand can go. We'll trim that package slightly. I'll trim one Thug. And then what? Grief is traditionally not very good on the draw. Misstep's probably dead. Maybe I can drop a couple of therapies and like a Grief. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Like, just lower expectations of what we're going to get out of the deck. Don't assume that we can cast spells and see where we can get to. But ideally, our turn one hand will have a Bazaar and an answer to Magus and an answer to Blood Moon. That's a lot to ask, which is why this can be a tougher sort of matchup. It gets worse the more we powder as well. We're down to 5, and now we're down to 4 and 3. Okay, fine. We'll see what their sideboard plan is. Mulligan to 1 or keep these. I'll keep these, and I'll just keep the Stinkweed Imp and pretend I'm going to have access to my graveyard. We'll see what they come with. Like, I don't have the luxury of playing cards there. So when I'm down to 2, so we'll just take a Dredger and see what it does. We'll take 2 Dredgers and see what they do. We'll take 3 Dredgers and see what they do, I think. Yeah. Poxwalkers is good, but it's less good now that I've trimmed therapies. But triple Dredger, when I'm about to get strip mined, this is the mulligan to 2 that can win, right? This is the Dredge strength. Okay, no, they trapped me. Right, so scrap that. Ravenous Trap is annoying. I would like to see more. Not that much more, though. Oh, actually, no, do I do that? Yeah, I probably just do grief them. Because then we can just have a look, see if we get more information. Fury, Chaos Adventurer, Pyroblast, Magus to the Moon. None of these cards are particularly exciting. I just take Magus, I guess. We've got some game here, like our opponent's hand is not very good and doesn't really get them anywhere. And that does get me everywhere. So let's just do that now and pass to you. They've got a mountain. And then I play Bazaar. I think I just activate Bazaar, right? Oh no. This was stupid, I think. If I'm sandbagging, I should. If I'm not activating, I should sandbag until next turn. But okay, they got 3 mana, 4 mana. So they drew Lotus Petal, Simian Spirit Guide, and then they get to play an initiative creature. We'll activate Bazaar, find no dredgers, and then we'll activate Bazaar to look for dredgers again in a moment. They'll get another mountain, which means next turn they've got potentially caves again. But let's activate Bazaar. Find no dredgers. That's a Hogak. That's pretty bad, if I'm honest with you. And we're going to dive very quickly to the case of Chaos Adventurers here. This is 7. And then 5 next turn. Maybe this turn if they find something to play their other one with. Yeah, Chrome Mox eats a Pyroblast. And Caves comes down and we're dead on board. Cool. Well, we're dead on board already, but how do we win from here? We probably don't. Do I activate or do I just go up? I think I take a card. Spinning Darkness. That doesn't save me. Okay. Cool. They win on the play, I win on the play. They had a Ravenous Trap. We did mulligan to 2. I can't beat Ravenous Trap. I don't know if that's the end of the sentence. I can't beat Ravenous Trap easily. I don't have the permission to fight Ravenous Trap. I do want Chalice back. I'm going to cut the therapies. Pyroblast coming in was wild. Actually, I guess it's not wild if you think I'm a normal dredge build. There's 70 blue cards in that deck. I'm not sure about this Poxwalker now that I'm down to 1 therapy. So can I build different? I can get my Thug back in. And then like maybe just play a Strip Mine. And this is really moving away from the combo, but it is a bit more, maybe a bit more resilient. It's not resilient if you don't have a Bazaar though, that's for sure. So Bazaar, Dread Return, Sickening Shell, Sneak Freedom. Cool, cool. I like this. Put 2 cards back. Okay, so Noxious and Dread Return, I guess. And then we'll play the Bazaar and flip it over. And we'll discard the Strip Mine, the 2 Dredgers, hold the second Bazaar, hold access to my Sickening Shoal. And then it's over to them. They did keep 7, which is kind of terrifying against like the prison lists. But if they just play out a Magus here, we can dredge back and zap it and then get 2 Bazaar activations. So Black Lotus hand. Means they've had 2 Black Lotuses this match. Turn 1 Caves. So that really stinks like a sandbagged Ravenous Trap to me. So I'm going to see if they just let me dredge a Stinkweed Imp here. Yeah, they do. So I can just take that. And then kill your guy. Take the initiative. And then play my Bazaar. And now I've got an Icarid in my graveyard. I've got the initiative. I don't have a basic land, so deck building issue on my part. But now I just pass, right? I don't need to do anything else. I've got the initiative, I've got an Icarid. You've got 1 mana in play and 1 mana in hand that we know about. And if you want to trap me, then go for it, yeah. I've got 2 Bazaars. I'm going to get back online pretty handily, I think. Like Magus can change that, but I get to activate in response to Magus. So Blood Moon, sure. So we activate in response. We find a Shambling Shell. If we get trapped again, we get trapped again. But Shambling Shell, Shambling Shell. Dread Return, Bridge from Below, Golgari Thug, sure. So lots of things to work with for us. If you trap me again, that's cool. Yeah, you trap me again, fine. But you're taking 6 now. I can't cast Icarid off of my 2 mountains. So, and now our opponent is dead on board. So, we just have to cross our fingers, right? The classic Hollow on Duke. They play a land. They play a Ruby. They've got 1 more card. So, Broadside Bombardiers, which can't attack. Chump blocking Bombardiers is exactly how I want them. Trap you. Noxious Revival for the kill. Perfect. So they chump block here. You can draw a Ravenous Trap. You seem to have enjoyed that card. And then we win the match. Cool. Yeah. So I think you can see how it can be horrible, right? Like my Bazaars are dead. They trapped me twice. But we just had quite a nice opener. with the Sickening Shoal. So that's a matchup against Mono Red Prison. Okay, round 3, we're up against CRK again, which isn't great for the home team. And we're on the draw, so not feeling good about our outs here. Just a generally bad matchup against a good player. It's pretty tough. We've not been great at finding Bazaar. I will say that. Oh, I got 2 of them. Let's keep the Imp then. I've got no plays, bro. Over to you. Big question of do we get a turn? Mana Crypt. Mana Vault. Flesh Raker. Jet. Three mana floating. Top. And then they take a look. And they play a Manifold Key, which can get them 2 activations on their top if they want it. Oh, they get the Mana Vault activation, sure. And a Trinosphere. Okay, well. That was rough. Chalice is not good. We play Bazaar. We discard 3 cards. Can't cast Hollow 1 because of Trinosphere. Our one saving grace here is they haven't got the best deck velocity at the moment. They flipped to the top, but that top's going to cost them 3. And they're fiddling around with their mana vault so they don't take damage. And then they've got 5 mana, 6, 7 if they want it. The One Ring, sure. I'm not damaging them next turn, so that's fine. And this turn we just get to go pretty big, really. Oh, another Manifold Key, sure. Next turn they just get to go huge. And they can cast another spell this turn and get in for 2. Good grief. This deck's really explosive, isn't it? They get to play the top. The Flesh Raker just keeps the mana churning. We go to 11. We'll dredge some Stinkweed Imps to start with. Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp. Remember, we don't have any Creeping Chills. Our bridges from below are dreadful against all those spawn tokens. We get a Narc, but we can't cast the therapies because of the Trinosphere. They float a mana to kill our bridge from below. Look with their top. And then we're going to go big again with Stinkweed Imp first of all into just a Thug. That's all we found from that. And then can't cast our spells because of Trinosphere. And like they can't even announce them. That's the problem. So from that we found 2 Icarids, which is our whole game plan at this point. And it's how much do we want to sit around and watch CRK do this? It's not really too exciting. I just don't think we can deal damage fast enough against this top. So I'm going to go to the next one because I think we're just completely locked and dead. And then just doing 2 top activations in a turn is gonna kill us, isn't it? So let's bring in these cards. Chalice on the play is good. Let's trim some combo nonsense. I think I can trim one of the Thugs. I think the Poxwalkers can just completely go. Maybe. And one of the therapies. I'll bring my Thug back for the other therapy, I guess. we'll keep a little bit of Dread Return, but not a lot. Have some kill spells for those Flesh Rakers. Right, 2 Bazaars and a Grief. I'm going to keep it. No Dredgers, but I kept all of the Dredgers in, so we should be good for finding them. No Leyline, which makes sense. They might just not have much hate. No Dredgers still, just to be clear. So I guess Icarid, Thoracle, Narcomoeba can go. And then we'll Grief off of an Icarid. And then we've got a kill spell for a Flesh Raker in the future. What have they got? Top, key, Flesh Raker, One Ring. So I guess we just take One Ring. Because I can kill the Flesh Raker with the other cards. In a minute. So City of Traitors, Sensei's Divining Top. I've deleted a Manifold Key accidentally. One Ring's gone. And then they just take a look with the top, yeah. No messing around. Maybe I'm supposed to just still take the Flesh Raker to guard myself against the second Flesh Raker. Because with no Dredgers in my life, this is a tough Sickening Shoal to keep online forever. So maybe I'm supposed to just take Flesh Raker. Icarid's going to trigger. I'm going to bring it back, but I'm going to just take a draw step. I really like this hand. Can I ever activate here? Play the Bazaar and pass, I think. Icarid dies. Kind of turns on, like turns face up the fact that we've got stuff to do. I find an Ancient Tomb. And then they roll out their Flesh Raker. And they'll play a top. And we'll kill the Flesh Raker in response. And then we'll see if they do anything else, because the trap's online now as well. Immediately crack it. Takes a look with the top. And then if they don't do anything in their end step, we'll just activate our Bazaar a bunch. We don't need to do main phase stuff because we don't play any amalgams. Well, they're taking a flip though. They're playing a Mana Crypt, which I'm just going to trap. Yeah, so end step it doesn't matter. Activate Bazaar. Stinkweed Imp and Grief. And then Dredge again with the Stinkweed Imp and the Grave Troll. We hit a Narcomoeba. And then our turn, upkeep, 38 cards. Grave Troll. Nothing really hit. Stinkweed Imp. Some cards. And then again, Stinkweed Imp and Grave Troll. And we win apparently. Cool. I'll take it. On the draw, anything different? I still had Poxwalkers in there. I thought I'd cut the Poxwalkers. I think Strip Mine could do some good work. Oh, did I actually just register 61? That's funny. No wonder I'm so bad at finding Bazaar. Magic will be taken offline. Okay then, thank you. Right, game 3, Clearly nothing here for us. We've got a Vigor. We can put back a Powder. Vigor might be able to get their mana out of them. And then if we can find a Grief on our Bazaar activation, that will give us a 2/2 and something to do. So Mox Jet to start. They mulligan to 6. Ancient Tomb. Glaring Fleshraker. Okay. Another 0. Yeah, Mox Ruby. That gives them 2 mana. And that's all they've got. Do I want to Vigor them now? No, I can do that upkeep, can't I? I can do other things for now. So Grief is pretty big on my wish list here. That's not a bridge in any way, shape or form. Grief in any way, shape or form, is it? So Thug, Icarid. And I think I just have to upkeep Vigor there to Moxen. And try and restrict mana. Because this completely nukes an Academy, which CRK's never not got in their hand, sort of thing. So their 2 Moxen are dead. They've got 3 mana, 3 cards. And they play a Glaring Fleshraker, which I don't like. So that's a lot of clock. And then they play a Manifold Key, which gives them a bunch of triggers and a bunch of stuff. And they got 1 card left. It doesn't do anything right now. They get in for 2. So then we'll dredge off the 2 thugs. Hit a Grave Troll. There's a Sickening Shoal there. Do I want a Sickening Shoal? Well, there's another Bazaar. Maybe I should go for another Bazaar. So Icarid will eat the Grief. They might just crack a token here to get rid of my Bridge from Below. I'm going to pay 2 to get back this Bazaar. I think I need to go quite big. Upkeep will draw the Bazaar. And then we'll activate going for Grave Troll. Golgari Thug. Only 1 Narcomoeba's a travesty. Any order. So I took out all my therapies. And then yeah, they're going to definitely crack a token before I get 3 zombies here. I'm going to attack with Icarid. They've only got 1 card though, so there's like that little bit of hope that they're just holding an Ancient Tomb and they draw an Ancient Tomb. They'll block and sack and eat all my bridges, and then next turn I've got Icarid, Narcomoeba. Maybe Narcomoeba. But the thing is, I'm not going to have 7 life to pay with my Grislebrand. But I do only have 31 cards in my deck, so maybe I can just get far enough to Thassa's Oracle myself, sort of thing. 2 cards for the opponent. They're tapping mana, so we probably just lose. Manifold Key. So we take 3 per spell, is that right? Well, that was like 4. Yeah, that's horrible. And now they draw 5 and we die. Okay. That's a shame. This deck's just so much faster than us. Never mind. Let's go to a new match. Okay, round 4 up against Alberto SD, who I've played a bit today already. And they've been on a blue-black reanimator deck today. There's not many people in the queues. I played a league and I played Alberto 3 times. And in this league I've played CRK twice. It's pretty quiet in the vintage streets this Wednesday afternoon. We've got a powder. And now we've got a bazaar. So we'll keep this. We're on the draw against potentially a reanimate deck. But if they play show and tell, I've got a Grislebrand, you know? I think show and tell is a post-board joke rather than main board stuff. So careful study. I'd like to draw grief as per always. I would like to draw grief. They discard grief and spell pierce, okay. Cabal therapy. I cannot discard this Grislebrand. Troll, shell, therapy, I think make the most sense to me. Because then I'm insulated against a wasteland for my dredgers, and I haven't committed a Grislebrand to a reanimate. They've got force and negation, pitching force and negation, sure. And then if I do hit an Archimedes, I get to therapy stuff. And if I hit bridges, then that can turn into a Hogak quite quickly. And when we're happy to, we can put the Grislebrand in our graveyard. They've got another careful study. And with all the bridges in our list, if we don't get wastelanded, there's a good chance we can get round an Atraxa. Archon might be a different story, that might be tough. Careful study is such a cool card. But then yeah, we should be able to, if the moment we get a creature, we can discard the Poxwalkers and the other therapies, and we should just be able to shred from there. Discarding Frog Grief makes me think I'm getting wasted. Or that they've just not found another land sort of thing. Or they could be on a really niche, like, land reanimate frogs to plan. It's interesting that they forced my Chalice. That might have just been a force out of the sake of forcing sort of thing. Like, it's unlikely you do anything else, so I'll just snap this one off and keep my 2 Moxen alive. Or they've just got like a big slow rolled Mox. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's far more likely that we're just struggling for land drops. And yeah, they just felt like Chalice of the Void was the only non-creature spell I was putting on the stack this game. So, they pass back, which is exciting, and then they concede. That's really cool. So, I want Ley Lines. I don't know if they're good. And I want Force of Vigors because I assume they're good. Strip and Waste? Probably not. Mindbreak Trap? Probably not. The other stuff? Almost assuredly not. So, 1 therapy, 1 thug, couple of Poxwalkers. I'm going to keep both the Gristlebrands. I can drop a Dread Return. Don't think we need Hogak. Bridge. I think we're just trimming stuff rather than Chalice on the Void. Chalice on the Void? Chalice on the draw. And then 1 more cut from here. I've already cut one of my dredges and I don't want to do much more. I know they're a strip mine deck, so I'm going to keep my Noxious, and I need to keep my green Count at least, like, you know, on the more acceptable side of embarrassing. Maybe it's just Poxwalkers, and we just lean on Icarids and Narcs and Bridge from Belows for tokens. But the reason I'm keeping the Gristlebrands is I know their sideboard plan is to duke into a show and tell strategy. So a bit of knowledge always helps. And if we can show in a Grislebrand, then that should leave us in a reasonable position at the very least. Okie dokie then. So this is interesting, right? Because we know our opponent. As I said, you don't know because you've not played them 3 times today. But I know that they're on a show and tell list post board. So what happens if I leyline them, make them play show and tell, and then play a Grislebrand? Like, is this an acceptable no bizarre hand? I think the fact that we saw the Psychic Frog game 1 and the Grief means they've got too much access to disrupting this Grislebrand, so we're just going to powder it away. This hand successfully operates as a dredge deck, but then obviously we run into a leyline problem of our own. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. Alberto is on 6 cards at the moment, and they're assessing their 6. But leyline's going to be an issue for us in like any way, shape, or form. And they're on the play. So yeah, let's see. No leyline, so that's good. Kept the 6 with a Mox Jet. Plays an Entomb. I wonder if we can. I wonder if they've got land reanimate or whether we get the opportunity to stop it. No, it doesn't look like it, does it? So this card that they've just put in the graveyard is a Leyline of the Void. Cool. And we can't beat that. It's a Leyline of the Void, and then they can pay life in the same manner as the Bolas Citadel to cast those cards. So we'll take a draw, and then we'll go to the next game. Because I physically cannot remove this card from the battlefield. It is just in play, and we can't race it in any way. So let's bring Chalice back to try and cap the amount of those plays that they've got. We'll drop a Therapy. Oh, Noxious is good hate as well, actually, isn't it? Now that I think about it. Yeah, Noxious is good hate. Misstep's good against Entomb and Reanimate. We've got them coming and going with that one. Okay, game 3. We're on the play. We're going to powder away our Misstep, which is like our best card. And then mulligan to 6. And then go to 5, which I'm not in love with. 4. The mulligans haven't been our friends today. We will keep this. We'll definitely keep the Noxious around. I'm not sure about the Chalice. Let's get rid of Dread Return. Let's get rid of Icarid. And then, no, I think I've got to get rid of the Chalice. So, Chalice, Dread Return, Shambling Shell. Say done. Opponent mulligan to 5 as well. If opponent mulligan to 5, maybe there's a chance that I should have noticed that beforehand and got rid of and kept the Chalice. But anyway, we found a Grislebrand. So we're hedged up against Show and Tell. Although the thing that they can put in is like a 9/9, I think, so that's tough. And then like the Leyline card. And then we're good against Reanimate because we've got Noxious. So Undercity Sewers. Well, that was really underwhelming. Psychic Frog. Black Lotus. All the blue mana. Show and Tell. Show and Tell resolves. This is my Grislebrand. That's your Archon of Cruelty. Okay. Well, I'm going to pay 7 life. I'm gonna dread return a shambling shell, or dredge a shambling shell, a Golgari thug, a stinkweed imp, a Golgari thug, stinkweed imp, a Golgari thug, and a shambling shell. I've got some Narcomoeba triggers. Nice Archon. Yes. Please. And Grislebrand is also just like thick as fuck right in the face of an Archon. Narc dies, zombies arrive. I've got to discard a card. Well, unfortunately I've got this Golgari Grave Troll that I don't need. I've got a Dread Return. I think I kept 2. Did I exile 1 earlier? No. So we can Dread Return a Grief. And then Dread Return a Thassa's Oracle. But this show and tell went, from what I can see, it went somewhat poorly for our opponent. I get cards. There was a lot on that first Dredge 3. There was a lot riding on that first Dredge 3. I'm not gonna lie, but we did get there. So we untap 2 Icarid trigger, which we'll just do. We can eat our own Grislebrand. Oh, there's a thug there as well. So I'm just assuming that I can get all of it at the moment. So we'll eat a thug. And we'll eat a Grislebrand. So it can't get reanimated by them if they do get another turn. Which my plan is that they don't. Upkeep, dredge a Grave Troll. And I've drawn a therapy. So I can therapy you. Make some tokens. And then I can dread return the Thassa's Oracle, put the trigger on the stack and activate Grislebrand. And just draw 7 cards. And that'll put me to exactly Domain. Well, not Domain, what's it called? What is it called? Devotion. So we'll say okay. And then I think I just named Force of Will. Well, Force of Will seems wrong. I think if you're not forcing, then maybe you're forcing negation. Oh well. Force of Will, Careful Study, Ponder. Okay. Well, we got the Force of Will. They got Careful Study, Ponder. And now I can Dread Return a Thassa's Oracle. Sacrificing Icarid, zombie token, zombie token. And then Thassa's Oracle comes in. The trigger goes on the stack, and I pay 7 life. And draw 7 cards. So I've got no dredges, that's funny. But now my devotion's 4 and I win the game. I'll put a Dread Return on top. That was fun. Yeah, keeping Grislebrand because I know they're on a show and tell. Duke. The fact that they had Archon, I think in that spot I can beat Atraxa and I can beat Archon and I can beat Serra's Emissary. I just can't ever beat that Valgavoth bloke. So, cool game. Okay, final round. We're up against Sing Pan Man. And we've got a mulligan. We've not been very good at the whole Bazaar of Baghdad thing today, have we? Like, in terms of having it in our opener. It's been quite unfortunate. We'll powder. I guess you keep the Thoracle in the deck. Now we'll mulligan. And we'll go to 4 cards again. But 2 Bazaars on 4. So we'll keep this. And I'll drop Grislebrand powder. Dread return. I'm on the play with 4 cards, 2 Bazaars, 2 Ichorids. We get a little flip here. And we find a Dredger. Alongside a Bridge from below. And now we pass the opponent. And yeah. And see where this takes us. So Doomsday or Merfolk is roughly their range in my mind. It's a Mox Pearl, which takes them off of Doomsday. And a Black Lotus. And a Wasteland. Okay then. You waste my Bazaar, that's fine. And then we're going to dredge 3. We're not going to do the Ichorid this turn. This could still be mono white actually, looking at it. We find a Hogak and a Stinkweed Imp, so tasty stuff. Stinkweed Imp and nothing else. Well, we did actually find a Noxious off that draw, right, which is a lot more than nothing else because it's another Bazaar. We get a Narcomoeba back in. I don't have a Therapy. I do have a Hogak though. And it's your turn. Ichorids only really have Ichorids to eat at the moment. Well, Ichorid and Shell. And then I could cast Hogak. Then my Ichorids would die and my bridges would go off. So let's see what they come with. They've got the dude that's a Voldarian Hexcatcher. And this is a Curse Catcher in disguise. So I'm actually going to Noxious my Bazaar in response to that. So that they can't Force Spike me. And they've got another one and it's got Flash. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to play a Hogak next turn. Oh, they kill my bridges as well. Savagery. Sapphire. Ottawara. Do they have your thing's an island? No, they don't. Okay. 3 Ichorids go on the stack. I think we're good here. So Stinkweed Imp. Golgari Grave Troll. Find another Narc. Find a Grislebrand. Probably can't be putting instants and sorceries on the stack though, to be honest. So Ichorid eats Shambling Shell. I might just eat the Grislebrand actually. Ichorid eats Stinkweed Imp. Do I want to eat the Grislebrand? I'm not dread returning in the face of all of this. Yeah. Dredge a Grave Troll. Find another Narc. Let's cast Hogak. Eating Hollow 1 powder, Hollow 1 powder. Noxious. That makes a Poxwalker. Magic Online's going down for maintenance. And then I did actually hit a bunch of therapies here, so my current computer screen is too small. So let's therapy you. So they don't have a Tide Shaper. They could just have a random Lord of Atlantis or something. Oh yeah, maybe this was a terrible play. Poxwalkers comes back though. What if I therapy them again? No, I think we just attack for 4 and then therapy them afterwards. Although the Poxwalkers just comes back for free, doesn't it? Sure. I don't know what we're naming here, though. That's the thing. Clearly not Force of Will. Clearly not Vidarian Hexcatcher. I don't think they could have a Tide Shaper. No, because they played a Thieving Skydiver last turn. So what other Merfolk makes sense? Hull Breacher? True Name Nemesis. There we go. True Name Nemesis. Bink. Thieving Skydiver. Okay, fair. Still doesn't do anything. So do I want to Dread Return anything? I can Dread Return rubbish cards. Okay, you'll go. Make Ridge die. And I've got Hogak. So that's exciting. Ancestral's a good draw. Good place to start for them. And then a Time Walk. No attacks. So we know about Thieving Skydiver plus 2 mystery cards then. Them playing the Thieving Skydiver is great news for us because that card's literally blank. Let's activate the Bazaar in response to Quadruple Icarid and just like get it over with. Narc comes in. I've only got 12 cards of note. Grief goes. I'm just going to eat all the dredges. My board's too wide. And then we'll dredge a Grave Troll for the last hurrah. And then we'll go to combat. What the fuck is this? Tap target creature opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Sure. Combat. They block a Narcomoeba. They block a Poxwalkers. I'm going to therapy you off of my Icarids. I get to back 2 Poxwalkers. I'm going to name True Name again. I just don't have ideas of what they can have, you know. They've played their 2 cards. I've got it. I got them. Put that True Name in the bin. And then do I want them on the hook for a creature? No, I've just got a concession. Cool. Merfolk. We probably want this. And I'm going to bring in the Vigors because I might imagine they might have ley lines. Don't think we care about Misstep. I think the therapy we can trim plus 1 Dredger, 1 Bridge, 1 Dread, 1 Grislebrand, and now I need 2 more cuts. Chalice on the draw is for sure one of them. And then something else. Golgari Thug. I always get punished when I do this. Let's just drop a therapy. Let's pray for good things on this last game of the league. Or maybe not last game of the league. What we want to be the last game of the league. So mulliganing to 6 and finding 2 Bazaars. Perfect. We've got 2 green cards as well if we end up requiring those Vigors. But I'm going to keep this and I'm going to drop... Oh no, maybe I'm going to drop a Noxious because I got 2 Bazaars. I want a good black card for Grief. Island, Cage. Okay. No other plays. We get a draw step. It's a Shambling Shell. I'm going to activate first. So Therapy I can't cast ever. I think Thug, Icarid, Therapy makes sense to me. We'll Grief them. And just see if we can take like a in interaction with Merfolk. Time Walk, Emerald, Island, Wasteland. I don't care about any of these. I'll take your Time Walk. So we're going to get wasted, and that's fine. I've got a second Bazaar, but I think we want to slow down a bit and try and find a Vigor. Because our graveyard's not doing much for us in the face of this cage. Wasteland gets binked. And then they're slow rolling the Emerald as well, which is cute when you know that your opponent's out is Vigor, right? I could dredge for a Vigor. And we find one. So let's just pass then. Yeah, because I can only get to one card if I play both the cards. So then on your upkeep, I would like to Noxious Revival this Force of Vigor. I don't know if upkeep's good timing, because it means I get to plan around it. So it might be better as an end step play. Yeah, I think it was better as an end step play. They play out the Mox Emerald now, which I'm not delighted by. Cavern of Souls, naming Merfolk. And it's just a true name Nemesis. Okay, so we know their final card is Island. So we know all their stuff dying. And then we get to go from there. Seems good to me. We can beat a true name. So untap. Icarid pops out the graveyard. We say no. We continue to decline. And then we upkeep, nuke their 2 permanents, and then we dredge our brains out. Bink, bonk, dink. That's gone. And I think I just dredge now before anything else can happen. So Troll plus Imp. Any order. 2 Narcs come in. We know they're holding an island plus whatever they drew this turn. They've played the island. They've got 1 random card left. True name gets in for 3 and I fall to 15. Icarid pops out the yard. Oh. Shana's Tidebinder. Okay. So then you counter that trigger for a turn. Okay, fine. I'm going to win now. So Grave Troll. Stinkweed Imp. Grave Troll, Stinkweed Imp. 4 Narcomoebas in play. I think we've got the combo in our deck as well. Draw step will dredge the Grave Troll. And what have we got to do here? So there's some therapies. There's no Grislebrand and there's no Thassa's Oracle. Oh no, there's a Thassa's Oracle. Did I exile Grislebrand? Because I think I cut one, didn't I? No, we just missed. Okay, that's fine. So what? So just how many Poxwalkers are there? Also 0. I don't know if there's any in my deck, but so maybe it's something like attack for 2. Opponent has less life points. And then I can therapy me. make 3 tokens. That resolves, and we just name a Golgari Grave Troll. You'd think I know how to spell it by now. There we go. So we discard our troll, and then we dread return our Golgari Grave Troll for a billion tokens and a massive creature. And the Grave Troll comes in, and it's a 19/19. And then we can cast a Hogak, exciting, Bizarre, Vigor, Noxious, Powder. And then we can therapy ourselves. I feel like we're exposed enough to Tabernacle. They've got 1 draw before the game ends, and the game has ended. That was fun. It's always a fun deck, this one. I don't think it's massively competitive, but it's a lot of fun to play with. You get to do some cool stuff, but I feel like there's some of the matchups there, like the CRK matchup mostly, right? We played 4 different opponents and we lost to CRK twice. And it's that sort of combo-y shops build that they've got going on at the moment with Flesh Rakers, where I feel like we really miss out all our permission and stuff. Yeah, so we kind of lose that match with the lack of permission. Being on the draw really doesn't help with the griefs or the therapies sort of thing. Therapies are slower than unmasks, which can be a problem, but just like the combo potential with the bridges is so big, that it's a lot of fun. And yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Combo Dredge. I'll see you again.